That's the source. We are the source. The legislature, the state house, and the state senate. We are the source of this problem because we are the ones who are coming up with these schemes to provide grants, which is to say, what a grant is it's me handing your money to somebody else. That's what it is. Okay. A state grant is me taking your money that we've taxed from you after you've expended your effort in order to earn it. And then I'm handing it over to somebody else because the premise is they're going to spend it better than you will. They're going to spend it on something that really matters to me, and that's more important than whatever mattered to you. That's the fundamental underlying moral premise of state grants. All right. Now, the reason why this doesn't work should be pretty obvious. All right. And it's very important that we're considering this in this moment when, as I mentioned earlier, the state and the legislature and the committee on which I sit is contemplating creating a brand new state department, a brand new state agency to govern early childhood. Okay, it's called Children and Families. That's the jurisdiction. They want a department of your family. Okay, and they're not going to address any of these fundamental underlying structural and systemic problems that are manifest and highlighted and pointed out by this OLA report. To really simplify it for you here, the problem here is that we have removed the inherent regulatory mechanism of price from these interactions. When I take this process, when I say, I really like what the people coming together for sunshine and happiness to give good things to kids, I really like that group as a legislator. And so instead of taking money out of my pocket or fundraising on their behalf out in the market and saying this group's doing good work and raising money for them, it's much easier for me. I can be the hero really quickly by just authoring a bill and having it jacketed and shopping it around to my friends and then having a hearing and then passing it off the floor. And presto whizzo, you got yourself $5 million. And you didn't have to ask a single person for it because the legislature did it for you. At that point, past that point, once that transaction is made, I, as the legislator, have received everything I need. I get the political credit for having done something nice for sunshine and rainbows. The organization gets what they want, which is the $5 million or whatever the grant amount is. And then that's it. We wash our hands and we move on. There's no looking back. And the people who have to actually pay, the taxpayer, have nobody looking out for them to determine whether or not that money is actually being utilized in the manner for which it was intended. And my point is, none of that needed to happen. If you just didn't have this way of doing things in the first place, if you didn't dole out public money to every group that you think is doing something amazing in the state, then you wouldn't have to have statutory authority to enforce compliance. You wouldn't have to worry about pervasive noncompliance. You know where you don't find pervasive noncompliance? Any place that has a shingle outside that says open for business. You don't have pervasive noncompliance with customer expectations at your local oil change place, or if you contract with somebody to plow your driveway, because there's inherent incentives to get it right. Right? I can choose whether or not I'm going to exchange value for value. And because I know my reputation is on the line, I'm going to make sure that value is exchanged as advertised. And I'm going to do it every day. We call it quality control out in the marketplace. That's what this is. This is a quality control issue. And the reason why the quality is not being controlled is because there's nobody in place with an incentive to do it. Where would the incentive come from? I don't have an incentive as a politician who already got what I wanted, which is credit for handing out money to fun time, sunshine, and happiness. I already got what I wanted, so I have no incentive to ensure quality. The group that I'm handing the money to has their money. They have no incentive to ensure quality. And these agency employees, state employees, they've got a lifetime position with wonderful benefits and compensation. All they have to do is keep their head just low enough to keep coming into work every day. Their incentive is to do as little as possible and be able to keep their job, which is, as it turns out, precisely what they're doing. That's what pervasive noncompliance means. So none of this should be surprising. All of this just fully proves conclusively in real time the market economic theory that ought to be informing our public policy, but currently is not.